Dial pound 250. Say Mike Rowe. And be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250. Say Mike Rowe and let the savings begin.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Now that summer is here, it's time for some summer home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call Center Guard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560, you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with Center Guard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. Center Guard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive summer special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit centerguardplumbing.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering 24/7 security solutions for homes and businesses. Call them today at 708-889-5600.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
All right, well, controversy abounds in the state of Illinois as these Democrat politicians get taken to task. Because we are not giving up. We are calling them out for what they are saying and doing. And X got a little heated between myself, a couple others, and Alexi Giannoulias because he put out this incredibly dumb tweet.
Oh, excuse you.
X post, rather. He said every time Trump tries to roll back protections, we roll up our sleeves, and here's what he said.
Look, government can't solve all our problems, but it should make life just a little easier. As Secretary of State, we demand better. We made it faster and easier to go to the DMV, but we made it harder for Trump and ICE to violate your rights, to hurt women, to ban books.
Dad?
Ban books?
Who is that? And why is he in our kitchen?
That's Alexi Giannoulias. He's everywhere fighting Trump.
He demands better.
Is that
God.
mint chocolate chip?
People are dead because of you, and he's laughing, and he's yucking it up, and he's all pumped up, he's ripped. Any chance he can get, Jeannie, he shows off his physique, but that's not why we're here. But that whole scene just describes his lack of character and his lack of leadership. This is a joke to him. This is all like clicks on social media.
Yeah, no, so he puts out this X post. This is his latest 30-second commercial. Because he's really running for Chicago mayor, by the way. He's not, and that's why the Trump derangement syndrome is on steroids with him. So Jim Jordan responded saying, Sanctuary State, Illinois gave a previously deported illegal alien a driver's license. He couldn't read, write, or speak English. Then the alien drove drunk and killed Katie Abram. And I posted, this is a despicable post by Illinois Secretary of State. His office hands out driver's licenses to illegals, the first step to them driving on roads drunk and killing people like Katie Abraham and obtaining their CDL without fully understanding our rules and language. And then Mary Miller doubled down. Alexi is rolling up his sleeves to shield criminal aliens from federal law enforcement instead of keeping them off our roads. And so he couldn't take it, essentially. And, of course, Joe Abraham had something to say. So he responded to all three of our X posts with this.
You may have seen this.
The screenshot.
These are bold-faced lies. This individual was never issued an Illinois driver's license, period. Using a family's tragedy to manufacture a false political narrative is deceitful, reprehensible, and does nothing to improve public safety. Instead, it exploits a victim, misleads the public, and inflames outrage with the claim that is flatly false. We've seen this from MAGA grifters time and time again. They demonize communities, pit us against our neighbors, and exploit real anger and pain. We must not let their lies divide us. We can hold bad actors accountable without using our immigrant communities as a scapegoat.
All right, so here to respond, of course, is Joe Abraham. He is the father of Katie Abraham, killed by an illegal who was driving drunk in Urbana. And, Joe, you've got the real story here, so go ahead. Tell us what your response is. I mean, isn't he the one who's divided families? Oh, by the way. And when he talks about the victim, is he talking about actually Katie's killer as the victim, as they all are wont to do?
Yeah, this is part of what we're trying to do, because we want to get the facts on the ground, but Illinois won't give it to us. So we're going to, through Judicial Watch, we're suing Urbana for records so we can understand what's happening. Here's what I know, though, based on the situation. It is on the police report in Urbana, there was a police Illinois driver's license number on it under Juan Suarez. He was using an alias in Illinois. The detectives, police, they were all looking for Juan Suarez. Only until the U.S. Marshals captured him in Texas when he was trying to escape did the Illinois realize, oh, wait, this is Julio Cuco Bull. So, yeah, I don't think Julio Cuco Bull was issued an Illinois driver's license. He was issued an Illinois driver's license, from what I can tell, under Juan Suarez, his alias. So you're handing it out. What do you even do to check for that? Because the feds knew who he was. Why couldn't you just check with the feds on an illegal alien that said he's who he's not? So this whole thing is ridiculous. Just be transparent. Let's put it all out there. Why do I have to sue Urbana to get information about my daughter's killing? It makes no sense to me. And the way he talks about that, I am a family of immigrants. I reject what he says. Immigrants done the right way, we want. How they did it in 2021 through 2025 under Biden and Harris, you are kidding me if anyone feels that was compassionate and the right thing to do and took care of citizens and took care of migrants alike. It did not. They don't care about lives. That's the bottom line.
And let's talk about the lives lost, because it's not only Katie, it's Chloe Polson, who was in the car when that monster rammed his vehicle into them at 80 miles per hour, drunk driver. Then you have Darcy Brunner, 61, from Stevenson County, that was killed by an illegal in a car. Michael Clayton and then Gail Clayton. They were both killed in a DUI crash because somebody was driving a car illegally and drunk.
But here's the thing, too. Yes, there were deaths, but not every accident that happens results in a death. How many injuries? How many hit and runs? There's so much data. And here's the thing. They don't collect data, in my understanding, as it relates to immigration. So they couldn't even tell you. They don't know. You can't get that information. So when people are out there saying, as it's settled science, that immigrants cause less than that, they have no proof of that. Some faulty study that they'll use, some academic thing that they might do that is constantly being contradicted by other studies. There's no settled science to this. You can't claim that as a government when you don't even collect the data. How are you determining this? Everything they do here in Illinois is not transparent. Why can't I just learn from A to Z how my daughter died and the circumstances around how she died? I can't. I got to get half-truths from our politicians. It makes no sense.
Well, let's be honest here. I mean, the first step to getting a commercial driver's license and putting an illegal behind an 80,000 pound vehicle is getting a regular driver's license, which Illinois will issue, without even checking, like you noted. They'll issue that, and then they'll give them a permit for a job, and then all they have to do is fake their way through a test, and then then they're behind us on a CDL. Now, Indiana shut all that down. They said, we're not issuing any CDLs unless you're here as a legal resident. And he's not talking about the fake asylum seekers either. He's not talking. They're not talking about that.
But how does a guy who in court, open court, said through a translator, he doesn't speak, read, or write English or Spanish. He speaks indigenous Mayan language from the mountainous regions of Guatemala called Tai Chi. It's not even the derivative of Spanish. How does he know what to do on the roads? How did he pass a written test? Is it an oral test? I know Illinois does whatever they can for anybody, but except for me and Katie, I taught her very well how to drive. And can you imagine sitting in a little Honda Civic at a stoplight idle as a passenger in the back seat and get slammed at 80 miles an hour? She died on the scene. I couldn't even have an open casket. That's how violent the death was.
How did he pass a written test? How did he pass a written test?
It's an oral. They give you an oral test then or something.
How do you pass an oral test?
Who speaks Tai Chi?
Tai Chi through an interpreter. They bring in. Let me tell you that the struggles we had getting interpreters for this language, you can't believe it. There's a federal case now with his identification. We're having trouble, continuances everywhere, just looking for the right interpreter with the right dialect. I don't understand. Look, as a family of immigrants, we welcome it, but do it the proper way, an orderly way, not like this. This was a free-for-all. This should have never happened. This is preventable, and they should be transparent with me as to how my daughter died.
Well, they've got a lot to come clean on, especially Alexi Giannoulias, and the fact that he's out there attacking us when he doesn't seem to know the own facts about what his own department issued, which was an ID to somebody with an alias. That's what he ended up doing, and he can't even come clean on that. That's just
want to
disgusting.
Know that. Thank you. Get after him on that. Help me understand. Why do I have to sue Urbana? Tell me, Julian, did he get a driver's license, a false document, and where was your vetting process for that? How is that
the problem.
Okay? And then my daughter's dead. And then what do you have to say? Julio Cuco Bowl didn't get an issued license.
Hey,
ridiculous.
You know what I want? I want the frickin' Chicago Tribune to ask Ali G, when they go through this whole candidate vetting session, we're going to talk to the candidates and tell you what we think. You go ahead and ask them. Ask them about this particular incident. Chicago Tribune, Sun, Times, all you frickin' idiots, Daily Herald.
Reach
fake
out to me
media.
Those papers. I'll write you an op-ed about it. No question
Please
about
do.
it. I'll write you my story, but they won't publish it. I would love to have them call me to say, publish what you think is going on and ask your questions. I sent Governor Pritzker 11 simple questions through FedEx and a letter, and he ignored it, and no one from the state has responded on that. Why? A lifelong Illinoisan's daughter is dead, and you can't help the guy. So I don't know. You tell me. We keep voting for this. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hey, Joe, thanks so much for on the fly coming on and responding to this breaking news story. Ali G coming after Jim Jordan, myself, and Congresswoman Mary Miller. So disgusting. But we got to move on. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
and just a program note. We're going to have Joe Abraham on tomorrow when I fill in for Dan with Jim Urio at 8 a.m. because there's some other questions like when is enough? And when does one leave Illinois? We'll talk about that and other things.
All right. We'll be right back with Victoria Manning from Restoration News and about that Marxist education your kids are getting in K-12 schools.
Make your voice heard. Call or text The Real Story at 312-642-5600.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and last year I hired Level 10 Coatings to give my garage floor a total makeover, and I am loving it. It still looks great, shiny, and clean. Level 10 Coatings. Now, you've got to call these guys if your garage floor is cracked, stained, still covered in salt. Don't live like that. Get it done now so you can enjoy it this summer. Level 10 Coatings. They're fast, reliable, and highly professional. Guess what? I went to work. When I came home, it was done. A shiny new gleaming garage floor. A quick, easy fix. And it's guaranteed never to chip or peel. Why? It's not an epoxy job. It's better. Level 10 uses polyurea, which is much better than epoxy. So schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, to receive $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com, or call 855-510-2628. Staff are local and ready to answer questions. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
Hello?
Sir, this is Officer Peterson. There's been a string of break-ins in the area, and your office, it was hit.
Hit? What do you mean? We were robbed?
Looks like the back door lock was easily pried open, and they moved through the building like they knew exactly what to take. We see wires everywhere. No computers.
What? No computers? I just upgraded everything.
Looks like they moved fast. We only found out because a neighboring business had their alarm go off. Do you have any security cameras?
No, nothing.
Don't wait until it's too late. Goldilocks protects Chicagoland businesses with custom security solutions. From reinforced commercial doors with keyless entry to cameras and 24/7 monitoring that alerts authorities immediately. Schedule a free on-site assessment at GoldilocksInc.com. Again, that's GoldilocksInc.com. Plus, AM 560 listeners get their first 3 months of monitoring free with a new install. Call 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Goldilocks, Chicago's premier locksmith doors and security systems company since 1981.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We have a lot to cover today. I think you'll find interesting. I just cannot believe it. But the Chicago Teachers Union, yes, they allowed a group of Marxists to use their location to put together an anti-war action network. They had the second annual gathering of the Anti-War Action Network, a conglomeration of dozens of local activist groups around the country united by their hatred of Israel and mission to obstruct American imperialism, right here in Chicago at their headquarters in Westtown. Of course, the CTU is saying, well, look, we just let the public use our. Oh,
yeah. Nothing to see here, right?
Yeah, nothing to see here. We let the public, just use our stuff. They can run it out for whatever
let's have
reason.
a Republican meeting there and see if they'll let us.
Yeah.
There's a group called, Chicago Republicans. We can get together there and use the space.
Yeah, the CTU Foundation owns the building and welcomes the public use of its meeting facilities in keeping with their mission to advance, enhance, and support public education. So as long as you're doing that, you can go ahead and rent their space, apparently. But you should be very concerned about this group that took place because they are, oh my gosh, essentially, it will be violent. That's what one of the hosts says. It will be violent. It was the hating communist convention where radicals call for sabotaging U.S. ports and backing Iran. John Levine, writing this in the Washington Free Beacon. We are all here to toughen our knuckles, Ryan Delaney, chair of communications for Jacksonville Palestine Solidarity Network, told attendees. The enemy is at home. Change doesn't ask for permission. It will be violent. It will be stormy. It will be unpredictable. And then somebody else, Sarah Flounders, a member of the Secretariat of the Marxist-Leninist Workers' World Party, thundered, a really militant, determined group here. This is who's meeting at the Chicago Teachers Union with their authority, with their approval. Don't tell me they don't approve of this. Of course they approve of it. AWAN's agenda focused on Israel, Lebanon, Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, China, Yemen, and the Philippines. You're not going to believe they actually had room namesakes. The Castro room was for childcare.
Okay.
They had the Razmia Obda Palestinian Revolutionary Room. That's a local revolutionary, by the way, from Chicago, actually, because she, let's see, what did she do? Oh, Palestinian terrorist turned Chicago community organizer who was convicted of bombing a supermarket in Israel in 1969 and killing 2 people. So she now lives in exile in Jordan. But she was from Chicago. She lived here for quite a while. So she had a room named after her.
Yeah, she best friends with Bill Ayers. Was there a Bill Ayers room, I'm sure?
I don't know, but I mean, here to talk about this more is Victoria. No, they did not have Bill Ayers, but that's a good point. Here to talk about it more is Victoria Manning. She is an investigative reporter with Restoration News, and she writes on big education, the culture war, and much, much more. And she's recently wrote this article, America's Enemies Infiltrate Public Education Institutions to Brainwash Children with Anti-American, Anti-Capitalist Propaganda. Well, I guess CTU proved that right. Victoria, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Jeannie and Amy, great to be with you.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew about this gathering of AWON at the CTU headquarters, but I think it's very concerning. I think it's also very telling at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I think that's the same teachers' unions that push for all students to go and be activists on May Day rather than being in the classroom learning. And we're seeing this from teachers' unions across the nation. And, you know, extremists from both within our nation and outside of our nation are trying to influence our nation's children to sway the direction of the country. Are we going to get back on a path to free market capitalism, or are we going to go down that path of socialism that the Democrats, we've seen the Democrat socialists getting elected across this nation. And I think that is the desire of these leftists, is they target our kids because they're the future of what's going to happen to our nation.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So in this article, you talk about extremism within, and you note that the Zen Education Project is embedded in many schools across the nation. And this map that it actually shows where their curriculum is, shows that their curriculum's in 3,885 schools in the state of Illinois alone. And of course, Zen is teaching, lessons like climate disobedience. Instructs students how to use civil disobedience to stop the flow of oil. Like, we can't have this in our classrooms and think that we're going to continue to be a free market economy.
Absolutely. So Howard Zinn was an avowed Marxist, and he's written curriculum for schools, specifically history curriculum, that is being used in school districts across our nation. As you saw on that map that I had with my article, it's pushing a very dangerous view of our nation and the social justice activism. It's not teaching children how to think. It's teaching them what to think from a Marxist communist perspective. It's very concerning, and they sneak this curriculum in. A lot of curriculum right now is being delivered via, Chromebooks online. It's not like kids are bringing home textbooks anymore that parents can actually read and understand what their kids are learning in the classroom. So, this is something I'm passionate about because, we don't have meaningful school choice laws in our nation. Many parents don't have a choice of where they're going to send their kids to be educated. And their heads are being filled with propaganda rather than academics. And we've got to sound the alarm on this.
Yeah, but Victoria, what can parents do at home to build resilience against these extremist recruitments, whether it's online or in the classroom by your teachers?
Yeah, they've got to show up to school board meetings, first of all. They've got to, in most cases, the elected school board members are the ones that approve and select the curriculum that's being taught in the classrooms. So you can hold your elected officials accountable. In many states, curriculum has to be made available to parents. It's a lot of work, but it's important work that parents need to do. They've got to demand to know what is being taught in those classrooms.
Well, I think part of the problem, too, is that you've got, teachers coming out of woke universities, and they're continuing that sort of education down to the lower level. And it's very, very difficult for people to even understand. Even if you look at the curriculum, you don't know what the teacher is saying inside that classroom. And so I don't know. It's school choice has got to be the only way to get around this.
You're absolutely right. Parents need an option. We need meaningful school choice reform with taxpayer dollars following the child, not the classroom. Until our public schools have competition, they're not going to have any incentive to get better. Right now, the more a school is a failure, the more they get rewarded with more funding. So we've got to change that model. We've got to have meaningful education reform that includes school choice initiatives.
You know, you've got lobbyists that have to register if they are working for a foreign agent. Why don't we have the same sort of thing when it comes to curriculum? Because in your report here, which is very good, again, you guys can go to restorationnews.com. You can read about this yourself. But you note that Qatar is a leading supporter of the Muslim Brotherhood, and yet they have the Foundation for Defense of Democracy have found that the Qatar Foundation International has spent more than $65 million on teacher training and curricula for social studies and Arabic language classrooms. I mean, this is a curricula that promotes Islamic religious values and practices and pushes anti-American and anti-Israel propaganda. And this is concerning because although it has not passed, it passed the House, it did not pass the Illinois Senate, but there's a bill that would require Arab American history to be taught, for whatever that means.
Yeah, and this, you mentioned that our colleges are instructing teachers on this far left propaganda, and you're spot on. That is one of the big issues. And there aren't many. The legacy media is not going to be reporting what you and I are talking about right now, and that's something that we at Restoration News are passionate about. We are going to expose things that the legacy media is not. And so we've got to keep shining light on this and highlighting the great work that conservative organizations are doing to expose it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your investigative reporting. We appreciate you. Victoria Manning with Restoration News. Go to restorationnews.com to read the news that you won't read in the Chicago Tribune, for example. Victoria, thanks so much for spending some time with us this morning and talking about this important issue.
Thank you so much. Take care.
We'll be right back with the Watchdogs.
Sean Fest returns on August 28th at the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca. Be a part of a live, on-location broadcast of The Sean Thompson Show, including a performance of the national anthem, followed by live music, food, drinks, and an opportunity to meet Sean Thompson. Registration is free. Go to 560theanswer.com/SeanFest. That's 560theanswer.com/SHAUN Fest. Sponsored in part by Class A Insurance, owned by Thomas Iacetta.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. For now, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche at his Senate confirmation hearings accused of mishandling the release of Jeffrey Epstein files.
Blanche himself has admitted there were mistakes when it came to redactions of potential victim identities.
Whenever we learned that any victim's name had been improperly not redacted, we immediately took the document down and fixed it as soon as we could. That doesn't excuse the mistakes of which I take responsibility, but it does mean that we tried to fix them.
Blanche insisted that Epstein victims can still come forward, and he wants them to.
Fox's David Spunt. President Trump tells ICE to resume traffic stops. They were suspended yesterday in response to fatal shootings during stops in Maine and Texas during the last week. There have been daytime airstrikes in Iran after 4 straight nights of strikes. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect sunny to partly cloudy skies with very hot and humid conditions, reaching a high of 97. Tonight will be mainly clear and warm with the possibility of reduced air quality due to smoke from wildfires. The low will be around 75. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Maybe you've thought about taking a cruise. Maybe you've even talked yourself out of it. But this is not just another vacation. This is the Gulf of America cruise. 7 days through the Caribbean with Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, Jennifer Horn, and a ship full of people who love this country. No packing and unpacking, no complicated planning, just great destinations, meaningful conversations, and a once-in-a-generation celebration of America's 250th. This November, be there. Text CRUISE to 94878 to book your cabin today.
All right, I don't push products I don't believe in, so listen up because I love and recommend Virago. It's a liquid immune support system, but it does so much more. If you have chronic pain because of inflammation, guess what? Virago can help. Why do I know that? I called Dr. Huber, the creator of Virago, and asked him, why do I not have shoulder pain anymore? What is going on? And I noticed what was different was that I was taking Virago. It's a liquid immune boosting supplement packed with 23 nutraceuticals working together in synergy, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it even protects your heart, kidneys, and liver. And because it's liquid, your body absorbs it quickly. Now, I mix my Virago in the morning with my orange juice, drink it down, and voila, I feel the difference, and you will too. Order your bottle of Virago today. Go to myvirago.com. That's myvirogo.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com, coupon code IMMUNE.
Fight or flight? In Illinois, you've got both options. You can stay and fight, engage in local races, work to change things. Or you can vote with your feet. At leavingil.com, we help you build a smart exit plan so you know where to go, when to go, and how to do it right. Take our quick exit readiness assessment. Go to leavingil.com. That's leavingil.com. Or call 224-800-6979.
The mainstream media isn't just biased. They're hiding stories from you, deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
This hourly segment brought to you by Unleash Your Wealth with Raj Shah and Rick Borick this Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Learn more at scwealthadvisors.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, it's time for our watchdogs, and we're going to start with Kirk Allen because he did not get to really say much last time. He had some great stories teed up. And again, he sends me again this morning another picture of just these disgusting, I guess it's supposed to be drinking and bathing water coming out of the village of Kansas. Quite frankly, I don't know why there is not a lot of protests going on in your city and in Springfield, because nobody, I'm telling you, nobody should have this water coming out of their pipes and calling it a government-serviced pipe.
If you paid me $1,000, I wouldn't even take a sip of that. And they bathe in that, and they're supposed to drink that. I'm sure everybody has bottled water at home, right? I mean, there's no, you can't live like that.
No, you can't. Kirk, tell us more about what's going on here. I know you were at a village meeting last week about it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, we went and videotaped the village meeting because we understood there was going to be quite a few folks there sharing some findings of the E. coli testing that was done. And so everybody knows E. coli is all over in the environment as far as outdoors in the rain, brings things up from the ground. You'll find that common. It's the levels of E. coli that we don't know. And some tests were done by a citizen, a new member to the community, who wasn't aware of all the flooding, and her backyard and basement flooded. So she went about taking all these tests because she saw so many problems. And in the video, what's so telling is the body language of the mayor. His arms are crossed. He's not looking at her when she's speaking to him, and he rolls his eyes and rolls his head, like, oh, gosh, here we go again. And then he tells her that these independent lab tests that were done were invalid, 100% invalid. Well, the tests were valid, but they didn't do a parts per million analysis to tell you how much E. coli is all over the place. And so instead of actually saying, well, maybe we should do a more in-depth test, he gave 1,000,001 excuses why we're not going to do anything. And there seems to be more traction at this point, but after our fire training last night, and I sent you that picture last night, this is the worst I have ever seen it, and that's after flushing the hydrant. It is literally chocolate brown. That's what's coming out of the hydrant, which is everybody's water lines are tied to the hydrant. And as I was putting the article together and tying back to the video of the meeting, and I must have missed it in the meeting, the mayor confirms that in the village of Kansas, every now and then we come across houses that have toilets hooked up directly to the drain system, no septic whatsoever.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you know how many? Well, wait, Kirk. How many homes or their toilets are hooked directly to the village drainage system, and is that even legal?
It's not legal. They don't have a number. They haven't even complied with the lead connection requirements to find out how many of these homes have lead connections in their water lines. I mean, the EPA and the state passed that mandate years ago with, a well-established deadlines.
Decades ago.
Yeah, and they still couldn't tell you what we have in this community. They're still working on that. But
yeah, this is absolutely unacceptable. It's unacceptable for anybody to have this type of water coming out of any house in the United States for any reason. I don't care what it is. We are a modern economy. If we can't solve, you want to talk about basic needs, Democrats, clean water is a basic need.
We're not a third world country here. Haiti
gross.
Looks cleaner.
This is, it's just gross.
How does the mayor get his drinking? What does his drinking water look like?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know, because there are some people in town that say their water is clear, and they're claiming, well, this is an isolated problem in certain parts of the town. Two of my firefighters, they take their kids to their aunt's house in Paris, 13 miles away, so they can bathe. They will not bathe in the water in town. They don't drink the water in town. People have spent a fortune on water purifying systems, and they claim they've got to change the filters about every 90 days. It's that bad.
All right. Well, this is okay. Well, I don't know.
But where do you go from here? Can you call the Illinois EPA is probably not going to be helping you at all. Can you go to the federal level?
Well, it's interesting that when I say we're starting to get more traction, a lot of people are now making phone calls to a lot of folks all the way to the governor. So we'll see what kind of, input that has. Unfortunately, when you got a board that has sat on their hands for the most part, they do have a couple grants they've applied for. We're getting a new water tower, but we still don't have our water mains yet. It's a slow, painful process, and I hate to say it, but I'm not holding my breath on this getting fixed, because it's been like this for about the last 8 or 9 years, and it's getting worse.
Oh, yeah, and yet they can shovel money to Rivian and Goshen and all these other rent-seeking corporations. Oh, there's another one, by the way. Richardson Electronics, $8.5 million to set up shop with Goshen and build out these battery, grid scale batteries, which, by the way, $250 tax credits per kilowatt hour. What a freaking waste of money when you have people having to deal with water like this. I mean, their priorities are so bad. And by the way, it's the Democrats' priorities. They've been in charge for 25 years now. Will people freaking wake up in this state? Sorry. Can't stop ranting.
Oh, I hear you. It's shocking. The priorities is just unbelievable, and how or why we can't get any attention from the state to address this kind of thing. I mean, we've had other communities in this area, in all directions that have had complete replacements of water mains in their system. How is it they're getting those grants, but we're not? Well, it's back to the board. The board and the mayor and those people in charge obviously are not taking the necessary steps to get things done because other communities are getting it done.
Yeah, we don't have water like this. We have really good water in Wheaton. Okay. All right. I mean, look, it's the watchdog hour or the watchdog time frame. So we're not going to talk about, rosy scenarios here in the state of Illinois. We're going to bring it to you. We're going to bring the heat. We're going to tell you the real story. So if you don't like the negative, I don't want to hear about it because you need to hear what's going on. So next story, Colchester Fire, former assistant chief, criminal history involves arson. The former fire protection district
And where
chief,
is Colchester?
Colchester
Let's start with
is
that.
in McDonald. That's in McDonald County. The assistant chief, I guess, from what I understand, is also, he runs the ambulance operation there. His brother was the actual fire chief, who was also the county chief deputy for the sheriff. And their stepdad was or is the current president of the trustees for the fire protection district.
All in the family again.
And lo and behold, we find out that back in 2004, the assistant chief was a volunteer firefighter at that time, and allegedly a dispatcher recognized his, voice when he called in to say, a building was on fire. Well, it turned out he, was supposedly lighting fires so he could go fight them and put them out. He got thrown off the department. He was convicted. They charged him with a class 2 felony for arson and destruction. The second charge was destruction of property. And years later, he moves away, goes to Michigan, comes back, and now he's back on the department as he's the assistant chief. And I guess nobody looked at his criminal record.
Well, wait, did they think it was just youthful indiscretion? I mean, how can you get hired back in a fire department when you're a convicted arsonist?
Well, they didn't convict him of arson. That was the great joys of a state's attorney and their plea bargaining capabilities. They pled it down to the one charge of destruction of property.
Via fire. Okay. Well, he's lucky nobody was inside because arsonists, they love to watch their work. They love to watch their stuff burn. But if he was doing it so that he wasn't going to be bored at work, that might be a mental health issue.
You need to do the top only in Illinois stories. I mean, this one definitely makes it into that book.
Well, actually, John sent me, and he can probably touch on it. I don't have it in front of me, but there's another department that just appointed an arsonist as their chief.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, John, what's the story there?
It's in St. Clair County, of all places. And I can't, off the top of my head, if you give me a second, I can figure out what fire protection district it was, but it was a couple of years ago that they appointed. It was Prairie DuPont, Illinois. It's a Prairie Fire District in DuPont, Illinois. DuPont is just outside of St. Louis, East St. Louis area, just a little bit south and to the east.
All right. I mean, you just can't. Oh my gosh, you just cannot make it up. All right, that's just incredible. Why are they not policing themselves? These firefighters, they basically own the legislators. Why, they go down there, they got all their ceremonies, they come walking in the uniform. They're heroes. These guys are all heroes. All of them are heroes, and they can't police their own departments.
He's not my hero.
And some of them are. Some of them are heroes. Some of them
they do heroic moves, but they are getting paid. No, they're getting paid. It's a good, it's a good paying job, and their pensions are great. But they're not all heroes. But when they do fight for it, that's a heroic action. But this guy has got some mental health issues, I think.
All right. Okay, John, since we're with you, let's talk about the St. Clair County Veterans Assistance Commission.
Well, they've got several issues. The first issue that I saw was last year or the year before they gave their superintendent a pay raise from $90,000 a year to $140,000 a year, and their bylaws are they just need to scrap them, shred them, and redo them. They violate the First Amendment by telling people they have to, can't use offensive language. They can't use defamatory language, and they can only talk 5 minutes on one subject. So if there's 3 people that want to talk about one particular item, they can't do it because of the bylaws. They define a quorum. There's 16 board members, but they define their quorum as 5 plus one of the officers, which would be 6, and 16 board members in state law requires 9 to establish a quorum. So you can't have a meeting in Illinois without a quorum of the members present. But apparently it doesn't apply in St. Clair County. And one of the other items that really tax money away from where it should be going according to the Military Veterans Assistance Act, they're paying rent. The law requires the county to provide the office space and all of the equipment that goes in the office. It doesn't authorize a Veterans Assistance Commission to go out and rent office space because they may not like what the county gives them. And for the last several years, they've been paying $28,000 a year rent. Now they just put in a new budget for next year because they want a better office building, and they're remodeling it, and they're going to pay $100,000 a year rent. Well, they shouldn't be paying anything, period, zero, because the law doesn't allow them to do that, and the county is required to provide the space.
And now the superintendent, a raise from $90,000 to $140,000.
Wow. He must be really good.
Yeah, and does he work every day, or does he have like some ED beneath him that does actually the work, and he's just a figurehead?
Well, he's got workers underneath him, but it's not an office you can just walk in. They require you call ahead and set up an appointment.
Oh, grief.
And it should just be an office where you can walk in and ask for the assistance you need.
Well, that's a problem. And then they're an appointed board, correct?
They are appointed. Each veteran service entity, like each VFW and each American Legion and those types of organizations, appoint one delegate and one alternate to the commission. So there's 16 of those organizations in St. Clair County that decided to appoint somebody. And those people are the ones that run the commission. And even at that, they have the St. Clair, along with Madison County does it too, but St. Clair has an executive board that makes decisions between quarterly meetings of the commission. Well, the law also says, and we got it changed a couple of years ago after what happened in Will County, the law says that no committee or subcommittee can act on behalf of the board. Every vote, every action has to be taken by a majority vote of the commissioners in office. And that's obviously not happening either.
Okay, well, a lot more to follow up on this. We appreciate all the information. Kirk, I really hope that the residents down there in Kansas, just essentially storm the village hall and demand action on their water. This is a health issue. So, all right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for being with us.
Yes, and coming up, we'll take your phone calls, 312-642-5600. You're listening to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
You're listening to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Tired of posting to your business's social media, but only your employees notice it? Meanwhile, your competitors are winning over customers by racking up thousands of views. At Myers Media, we create social media content that gets engagement and drives sales. Here's how it works. If you're in Chicagoland, we sit down with you and come up with all the ideas. Then we handle the filming, editing, and posting. You don't lift a finger. Out of town? No problem. We build the scripts, coach you through filming it on your phone. Then we take care of the editing and posting. Myers Media also does bigger projects like website videos, event filming, and paid ads that make people pick up the phone and call you. You know what makes your business special, and we know how to turn that into content that gets noticed and gets you customers. Schedule a consultation with us today at myersmedia.net. Again, that's Myers, MEYERS, media.net. At Myers Media, we create social media content that gets engagement and drives sales. MyersMedia.net. Let's get you noticed.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Jeannie, we got to make that video of that water that looks like mud water. It looks like you know what it is in water to go viral so that they can get the help they need.
Yeah, no, we should, go after J.B. Pritzker for this. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Because there's funds. You're right. If he's going to help Richardson Electronics, and give subsidies to Goshen and other places, and why not help the people in your own state that are drinking water? It looks like we're a third world country.
I know. Well, you know, it will be a third world country if you let the Mandanis in the Democrat Socialist Party get in control. And Mike Johnson is mincing no words about that. Republicans are hitting this hard, and they should.
And that's why we're speaking in such stark terms, because we need America to wake up. We're not even, look, 35 years ago, Republicans and Democrats in Congress, when I was coming up in, the Reagan years, they were fighting communism on a distant shore. Now it's here. But in Congress, they all agreed on that. They obviously knew that we had to fight communism. And so what they were doing here for domestic policy, that was foreign policy. Domestic policy, they were arguing over, marginal tax rates and the shades of regulation and how large the government should be. There wasn't a huge difference, a chasm between the two parties. Those days are gone. Right now, domestically, we are arguing, we are debating, we are fighting. The election will be over whether we're going to maintain our freedom in a constitutional republic, the greatest experiment in self-governance in the history of the world, the longest surviving constitution on the planet, the nation that everybody wants to emulate, and everybody wants to come here. We have to seal our borders so they won't flood over them. We're the only nation in the world that has that distinction. We're the last great superpower. We are the greatest nation in the history of the world. We are fighting right now in Congress over whether we're going to maintain our status as a constitutional republic, or we're going to trade that in, dismantle the foundations, and go down this dark road of death to communism. That
All
is
right, and you just heard it here about the CTU offering their headquarters to the anti-war folks who are basically communist Marxists. That's what's happening. All right, let's take a few of your phone calls. We'll go to Will's been hanging on for a while. Will and Skokie, welcome to the program.
Good morning, ladies. Just a clarification. Connecting the sanitary sewer system to the drain sewer system is allowed. It's all over Chicago. And if they want the water checked, the Illinois Department of Health will do free water. I assume this guy's got well water. And they will do free water quality testing for you. And if they find it, because plumbers are under the Department of Public Health. They're not under the IDFBR.
All right. Thanks a lot, Will. Thanks. We're gonna stay on this story. We think it's really important. I appreciate your information. All right, let's go to Marge on the Northwest side. Marge, welcome to the program.
Hi. I think that the Republican Party needs to start using different words when they are talking. First of all, we are in an internal war here, and the word war, I think, needs to be brought out because we are in a war with these people that are now getting into these positions, and we're going to lose our country if we don't start using the right word. I mean, the people of America right now, the ones who care about this, with this government and our kids' future, we need to start being the boots on the ground. The boots on the ground in previous wars, they were overseas. We now have to be the boots on the ground here. And these videos, Pritzker, when he runs for governor, these videos need to be used by Darren Bailey to get him the hell out of office. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the way it is.
No, I mean, Marge, you're right. The left likes to use the war word a lot, and maybe we need to just put it out there as well. Thanks a lot. Thanks
you,
for everybody
Marge.
joining us today.
Yep, program note, I will be filling in for Dan tomorrow with Jameria. Jeannie's going to be in on Friday, and we will both be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. for The Real Story. Have a wonderful day.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly.